A very good morning to my beloved lecturers and my fellow friends. I am Suharaj Ratnam in the metric number of RIB 160032 from the Drama Department of Cultural Center. And my topic for my thesis will be an analysis on the selected female characters in the play The Sandpit. This will be my abstract and it consists of introduction, problem statements, objectives, significance of study, findings, and also conclusions. Moving on to next. Regarding my introduction, K.S. Maniam, who has written many novels, short stories, plays, and has won numerous awards. He has been a lecturer and associate professor in English Department, University of Malaya in Kuala Lumpur. The Sandpit, a monologue written by the popular Malaysian English author K.S. Maniam, seems to be exposing the inner life of a such working-class Indian wife through the frank speech of a woman who is living in an oppressive patriarchal marriage, suffers physical and physical trauma in silence. It is visible that how a different class and a social background of a woman reacts to a situation whereas another with an opposite characteristics differ. Santa and Sumati are the main feminine roles to talk about here and to have comparison between both of them. It is regarding the conflicts between a young rebellious woman and one who represents traditional morality. And my problem statement here would be women from different class such as middle class and upper class always clashes in terms of cultural social background. The upper class gains a priority and the lower class does not gain any priority, which leads to dissatisfaction. Here in this research, it will be seen how both wives Santa and Sumati tackles at all situations with the husband and without the husband. And my significance on study will be is to safeguard the feminine roles of different culture and traditions towards the betterment of the community. This research also provides a better understanding and knowledge to the audience and the community about how a traditional feminine roles contributes with moral well-being towards the society. My objective will be to analyze the correlations between two major female characters, Sumati and Santa, in the play. Secondly is to realize the idealism of K.S. Maniam in portraying the main female roles as protagonists and antagonists in the play as a social norm. My scope of study will be the research will be focusing on the main female characters in the play The Sandpit. It focuses the different culture, traditions and social background of women in the same society that reacts each other to bring some understandings. My methodology in this research will be contains two types of method which I employ in collecting, analysis and interpreting of data. First is structural reviews on the script, The Sandpit, and the second one is unstructured interviews conducted, especially to Dr. Susan Philip, who did previous research in this research, and also Mr. Hudaya Shankar, who is very close to the author K.S. Maniam, to understand about K.S. Maniam's idealism about this Sandpit. My theoretical framework is I'm using three-dimensional theory or bone structure theory. Both are the same things in this research. Agri-Lajos states that a character has three dimensions as its fundamental structure. Those dimensions are physiology, psychology, and sociology. They are the elements which build the characterization in a literary work, and they are bound to each other. Different combination of those factors will result in different characteristics of people. My literature review. One of my literature review is the thesis research about female silence in K.S. Maniam's play, done by Wan Yahya Wan Rosalam in 2009, has stated that portrayal of mental conflict of female protagonists as a result of a polygamous marriage in a working-class Indian family. K.S. Maniam uses the monologue to convey its protagonist's various emotions and thought which could not have been presented adequately if conveyed in dialogue form. Next will be the book Silence, Suffering and the Female Voice. It touches more about the patriarchy and the female subjectivity and some feminism theories. It attempts to examine particularly the constructions of female subjections in K.S. Maniam's dramatic works. It describes about the context and the commitment in relation to their culture and social background. It is also written by Wan Rosalim Wan Yaya, who is a senior lecturer at University Putra, Malaysia. My third literature review would be the master's research of the identity formation, home and diaspora space of K.S. Maniam's play. It describes about the South Indian labourers were to be in Malaysia. No matter any caste and class, the labourers had their fair share struggle for 3 decades or so under infamous indenture system. Written by Sarah Shalini. My fourth literature review would be an article on Asian Theatre Journal. It is about the Sandpit of the topic woman's and discusses the playwright's portrayal of the individual's negotiations with the tensions inherent in Malaysia's multicultural society. In this play, Maniam embodies the tension between these two cultural spaces through the characters of Santa, who lives within the prescribed culture's borders, and Sumati, who feels constraints of these borders and pushes against them. Finally, Maniam suggests that the only solution, tentative at best, is to find some new space where these apparently opposing views can come together. According to the book, The Art of Dramatic Writing, written by Lajes Agri, it writes clearly and presents his case for the fundamentals of drama using examples from then the contemporary plays. He argues that good drama has a premise and strong characters in inevitable conflict with each other with believable emotion transitions. Agri describes 4 sections which are premise, character, conflict and general. Regarding my findings, with the physiology, which is physiological dimensions, is the description of the physical aspects of a character, appearance, general health. Physical appearance may affect the character's feeling regarding his surrounding or the feelings of being secure or insecure. Psychological aspects such as the body shape, whether or not as a person is beautiful or handsome, or the color of skin. Now, in this play, Santa, a woman in her late 30s, and Sumati is a woman who is just turned 30. Both are the wives of the absent Das. Santa follows a tradition, whereas Sumati does not follow a tradition, because Sumati is from the upper class and always works upon a wish only. Sumati presents a total contrast to Santa. She is dressed fashionably in western clothes, but they are rumpled. Unlike Santa's immaculate sari, Santa is always the traditional type who wears saris, jewelries and golds, whereas Sumati's, she wears modern dresses and behaves like a very foreign girl. So Sumati has discarded Indian tradition, which demands physical restraint in women. Next aspect would be sociology. Sociological dimension is related to the description of the condition of character's environment. Sociological aspect can be effectively analyzed through the social life of the character. Example, the house, the job, the education and social status. In this play, the isolation of Santa from the beginning to the end of a monologue is of course in keeping with the traditional role and place of a woman in Indian society, which the playwright seems to view as the acceptable female condition in patriarchal society. K.S. Maniam's conclusion seems to exalt the suffering, sacrificing and submissive wife, since it is through these qualities that she will not only survive but finally triumph. Santa's acceptance of Sumati is ambivalent, for on the other hand she is forced to bless Das' second marriage through the Indian ceremony, and on the other she wants the new wife to provide her husband with an heir. It is essential to note that Santa's miscarriage has rendered her infertile. Das' behavior is equally contradictory. His role for the new wife in the household is not an extension of the role Santa has played in his life. He takes advantage of his culture acceptance of polygamy, but his new wife is not the Hindu ideal. She has rebelled against tradition. Sumati has rebelled against tradition. He is more of a companion to him than his quiet, submissive first wife, who is Santa. Next, Santal is the traditional wife who functions by cultural and behavioral codes which are common in India. Santa embraces the outdated Indian traditions that officially constitute the culture to which nation Indians are expected to look for cultural grounding. My next aspect on this three-dimensional theory will be psychology. The last dimension of character is psychological dimension. Psychological dimensions deals with the characteristics of character, example, behavior, emotion and thoughts. Santa has never got to know Sumati because she is too jealous and resentful as she has caused to be. Her childliness is also a source of bitterness because Sumati hates the idea and role of motherhood and refuses to conceive thus offspring. Santa gradually emerging as a stronger woman as a result of her endurance, living with another woman, a rival who is the opposite of her in character. In a psychological sense, thus is now Santa's child. The child as miscarried will return in the form of husband. The period of his absence has been a space where a measure of his self-discovery and can take place. Even if Das does not return and Santa is strong enough to survive. My next aspect to fulfill my objective is the idealism of K.S. Maniam in portraying the main female roles as protagonists and antagonists in the play as a social norm. Maniam uses the monologue to convey his protagonists various emotions and thoughts which could not have been presented adequately if conveyed in dialogue form. The isolation of Santa from the beginning to the end of a monologue is, of course, in keeping with the traditional role and place of woman in Indian society, which the playwright seems to view as an acceptable female condition in a patriarchal society. K.S. Maniam seems to be exposing the inner life of such a working-class Indian wife through the frank speech of a woman who is living in an oppressive patriarchal marriage, suffers physical and physical trauma. It is clear that K.S. Maniam's main concern in the play is to forget his protagonist's feminine consciousness of a situation in relation to a husband and a rival Sumati. And in the conclusion, at the end, the two women move away from these oppositional stances, coming together to create and inhabit a space that does not lean towards either extreme. Santa and Sumati, they both came together in a strange kind of bond that affirms their strength and individuality. The research analyzes the two different aspects of major female roles in contributing towards the society. It is to bring hope in accomplishing this research successfully and to achieve the objective and provide a positive significance to the community. And this is my bibliography. Thank you very much.